to another vlog. So today we are studying for finals. The semester finals are just around the corner. I have only 2 more weeks until my first final comes, and that is in anatomy for internal organ. So I would definitely say that anatomy is the one exam that I am the least stressed about. I think it's very basic internal organ anatomy. We don't need to go into too much detail with this study because we're physiotherapists and not nurses or general practitioners. So our main focus is more on the muscles and more so things to do with movement and also like the nervous system and stuff. So for that exam, I'm actually feeling pretty good that I think I'm going to let off the gas with the studying for that exam because I know I have other exams that are much more difficult and that I need to study for a lot more, such as the following exam that I have that is in 3 weeks. Oh my goodness, in 3 weeks I have my other anatomy exam, which is Bewegungsapparat. That's more to do with the skeletal system and all of the muscles to do with movement, things that are more relevant as a physiotherapist, things that we're actually working on. Of course, then we go into a lot more detail, and just because that class is so detailed, it is a lot more difficult. And then of course in 4 weeks time is my actual exam weeks, and in those weeks I have quite a few other tests, both theoretical and practical, that I really need to practice. So right now I'm going through my physiology ANKI cards. I'm feeling pretty neutral about this exam. Like, I think if I wrote the exam tomorrow, I wouldn't fail, but I also wouldn't do amazing. I'm very confident in the general knowledge that we're going to be tested on, but you know, the little details that take your grade from a lower grade to a higher grade, those are the things that I need to work on. Of course, I would be okay with just passing, but my teachers do say, if we only know 60% of our patient's body, you can't really expect to be able to give the full treatment and to do your best with that patient. So I do put maybe a bit more pressure on myself than I should be because I do want to strive for excellence. I would say the classes that I'm having the most troubles with are chirurgy and orthopedy. Orthopedy is like orthopedics, so everything to do with bones and joints, and then chirurgy is surgeries, which, I mean, if you go in that direction with physiotherapy, it's obviously extremely important. And here's the thing, the theoretical class that I have, because I have both a theoretical and a practical class for each of those subjects, the theoretical class is with a different instructor, and I think this instructor is just top. Like, they make their class notes so easy to follow, and it's all condensed, you know, like it's easy to study. And then the one instructor that I have for my practical class, there is probably 3 times the amount of class notes, and there's no up and down to it. So I'm just finding it so much more difficult to study that topic because yes, it's a practical exam and a practical class, but at the same time there's going to be theoretical questions, and the theory behind it, you know, might be a slightly bit different, or they have different points that they're putting more focus on. So I've been finding that very difficult to learn. So I think another one of my goals for tonight is just to kind of work through the class notes and try and condense it a little bit and try and make it more understandable. I'm not going to make a Zusammenfassung like we would say in German, which is just kind of like a shortening of the notes. That would be a huge waste of time at this point. So I'm just going to be going through and pulling out what I think is the most important information and putting it onto ANKI so that I can start studying it right away. And then with the practical things, like I did, if you saw in some of my last vlogs, I was writing out like paper flashcards for all of my practical exercises, and then I can have that separate from the theoretical part of the class, if that makes sense. So that's another goal for the day. I think maybe today I'll focus on writing out the practical parts of it, and I'll worry about the theory later. So then the practical things that I need to learn for chirurgie and orthopédie, those are different tests. So they're not like strength training, muscle groups, muscle patterns like in my other class. It's actual tests to see what is wrong with the patient, because it's actually really interesting, all the tests, because most of the time the patient is sent to you from their doctor and all it says is that they have pain. The patient has pain in one part of their body, and then we as physiotherapists have to determine what is actually wrong so that we can know how to treat it. So it's very, very interesting. For example, we learned how to test for tennis elbow and for golfer elbow. We learned how to test different ligaments. We learned last week one method for treating carpal tunnel syndrome. You know, it's very interesting things. So I enjoy it, but at the same time it's difficult to learn. So those are my goals for tonight. So it is after 10 o'clock now. I have been studying for quite some time. I did take a decent break to have dinner and also just to relax a bit because I have been so exhausted this week, and I'm just really, I'm obviously trying to push myself, but I'm trying to not extend myself too much to the point where I break. So I have a longer day at school tomorrow because I usually stay those days and practice with some of the people for the more practical things. So I'm gonna go to bed now and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Alright, so just got back from school. My husband picked me up because we had to go run a few errands because something very exciting is happening tomorrow. We are flying to England to go and visit one of my siblings. They're there short term, just for a few years, but they're actually going back to Canada this summer. So we wanted to take advantage of Fasching weekend here in Germany and, you know, it's a long weekend, so we thought let's fly on over to England and go and visit them. And I'm so excited. We're leaving tomorrow. I have been looking forward to this for months. So I'm very, very excited that the day is finally here. I wanted to show you guys my outfit that I wore today because I feel really cute today. I'm wearing an old pair of jeans, a sweater that I knit, and a vest that I thrifted, and then also I got a new bag, like a fanny pack slash crossbody bag. I've been wanting one for a really long time, and I actually saw this one on one of my friends in Canada and I kind of copied them. So thanks for the idea. Yeah, but I haven't had like an actual bag, like a purse or crossbody bag or anything for the longest time. I have just been using like old tote bags, but I thought, you know, if we're traveling, this is gonna be so handy. And because I don't want to carry around a big tote bag, and I also don't want to carry around my backpack everywhere. So this is my latest purchase that I have gotten. My husband gifted it to me today and I just love it. I'm starving now, so I'm gonna make a smoothie and then we gotta finish packing and hit the road. All right, so my husband and I are all packed up, ready to go. We packed very light because we're traveling with Ryanair, so I am literally just bringing things that I can actually wear on my body on the way home in case we go shopping and I buy something, because, you know, I really only have a backpack worth of space. Also, another thing that we ended up getting today were these little like reusable travel sized containers to put like soaps and creams in and stuff. So I'm really glad we got those because it saves so much space. But anyways, I think we are going to head out now. We are driving to my in-laws because the airport is just a lot closer to them. And then tomorrow morning we will be on our way. So make sure you stay tuned for next week's vlog because it will be our Great British Adventures. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!